Vale, 30 segunditos. Voy a quitar cosas de la pantalla para que se vea mejor. Tipo esto. Tipo esto. Y... ¿esto? Yo creo que sí, se ve bien. Venga, ya han dicho que no será gran cosa, en teoría. Pero bueno, yo qué sé, siempre puede haber alguna sorpresa. ¿Qué pasa, Max? ¿Cómo va? Justísimo ha llegado.
In today's episode, we're going to start by taking you on a tour of Night City.
Tour de Night City, me gusta. Gameplay, me gusta.
Senior level designer Miles.
Y nuestro amigo, el senior level designer. Otro gameplay, me gusta. Y del equipo de misiones, me gusta. Ojo, estos son PCs, es verdad. Ojo. Información para los PC players. Eso eran PCs si hicieron un concurso de PCs, mods de PCs de estos, de temática cyberpunk. O sea, de locos, ahora veréis. He visto alguno por Twitter y es de locos.
Oh my God, Juanita here. Today's news is Nova Max.
Hi there. New to Night City? It's not so bad here.
How we feeling today? Cause I feel amazing.
The food. The Thai on 7th and Haywood. The pierogies down by the docks.
Our home. Our pride.
And as always, your business is my business.
And this is your world news update.
Hay programas de tele y todo, tío. De locos, tú. Una discoteca. Let's go. Vaya.
Endless possibilities and endless lies.
We are fucked, America. And I don't know how we're gonna fix it.
The homeless population in Night City has risen by 300%.
Dios.
Crime in Night City is now double the rate than in the new United States.
Justo del crimen y tal. Bueno, no voy a hacer spam. Cuando termine esto habrá un vídeo de... está el segundo vídeo del logro de Cyberpunk en el canal de YouTube. Una R301, tío. ¡Ojo!
Well, on that note, that's it for today's info flash. Sleep tight, Night City. The grass ain't
Seguro,
greener
te lo digo
anywhere
ya.
else.
Night City. What does it mean to you?
Mira
How
esto,
well
tío.
do you
Mira
know its
esto,
history?
tío.
Who was Richard Knight? How many stations are in the NCART system? Which city district boasts the best burrito in town?
Porque cuando han dicho Richard Knight han enseñado a un hombre negro. Richard Knight no era un hombre negro. Nightcity.love. Llevas palomitas. Bueno, de hecho, Johnny Silverhand te acompaña durante todo el juego, o gran parte del juego, tengo entendido. De momento no lo han retrasado otra vez, ¿eh?
Night City is one of our stars of this episode. There is actually quite a lot to talk about. So let's start at the beginning. How did Night City come
Oye, quiero
to
esto
be?
de aquí atrás,
Because,
¿eh?
yes, it exists in the world of
Quiero
the
esto,
tabletop.
tú.
But how do you take that?
No, pero es que en el libro del lore es blanco.
Well, yeah, as you can imagine, making a city that is as big and complex as Night City is quite the ambitious project. First off, we sat down and we were really considering what is it that we wanted to do with Night City. In a way, Night City is the star of Cyberpunk, right? It is one
¿Os acordáis de la página web que han enseñado? nightcity.love es una página web activa, luego la vemos. De locos.
And then secondly, we also wanted to provide enough variety between districts so that exploring Night City would always be fun, right?
Habrá muchísima variedad entre distritos, que es lo que ya habían dicho. Que serán tipo como ciudades diferentes, se sentirán muy diferentes para que no parezca que hemos estado, que una vez hemos estado en uno, que no parezca que hemos estado en todos, ¿sabes? Pero que está en el libro, tío, tengo el puto libro ahí atrás.
Expect from the city layout. You'd expect the port, you'd expect huge industrial areas that would facilitate this kind of trade that you would assume a city of this type.
Pero eso no es la Torre de Arasaka. Bueno, será una de las ciudades, supongo. O sea, uno de los edificios.
Into several districts, 6 of them, and some of them are based on the original lore. We decided to give their own characteristics in terms of architecture, their demographics, the kind of people that would live there.
Cada uno tiene su gente, digamos, su tipo de gente que vive, cada distrito, quiero decir, su arquitectura, su todo. No lo has jugado porque no ha salido. Es algo a tener en cuenta.
Feels quite alive, has a lot of character where each district feels like its own distinct zone without feeling separated from the larger picture.
Algo importante.
And that results in something that allows the player to easily navigate even the complex concrete jungles of Night City.
Ojalá lo hubiera jugado yo también.
De
lore, es que tiene mucho lore. Estoy subiendo vídeos de lore a YouTube. Es que es muy largo.
Can you give us some idea about or some insight into just how big and like how densely packed Night City really is?
Yes, so I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying that Night City is easily the most complex thing that I or the others have worked on. The city
dice que Night City, que es la ciudad, es lo más complicado en lo que han trabajado. No me extraña, porque basta verla.
And you can tell that it grew in phases, right? Where buildings have been built on top of each other, and I guess the mega buildings that we have showcased are a great example of this.
Además está hecho a mano, ya lo dijeron. Tanto exteriores como exteriores, hecho a mano, uno a uno.
Expand outside and then up high into the sky, and underneath it you'll have space for other buildings. This yields a lot of interesting experiences when it comes to exploration.
El lore de los vídeos lo saco de la wiki, de cosas que han dicho los de CD Projekt y de un libro que tengo. Un poco de todo. Lo leo, lo resumo, lo escribo, lo grabo, lo edito y lo subo.
But here it's much more intimate, much more moment to moment. You might be roaming the cities and get a call by your fixer who informs you about a job nearby that you might be able to do, right?
Tanto cosas que han dicho CD Projekt en entrevistas y en gameplays y tal, como en vídeos de estos.
Some gangers hanging out that are up to no good. Sometimes, and these are the moments that I often get surprised with, you'd even stumble upon the odd elevator that is meant to connect parts of the, different layers of the city. And it's quite astonishing sometimes to see where you come out when you enter one of these and, find that, oh, this is actually how it connects to the world. That's crazy. And now I'm here. And now I know there's
Dice que hay como diferentes plantas de la ciudad. O sea, ya no solo en edificios, sino que la misma ciudad como que tiene diferentes plantas, ¿sabes? Es lo que he entendido. Igual no es todo, obviamente, sino partes de la ciudad.
I mean, you guys have really brought Night
No,
City
es
to
la
life.
polla
I
esta.
really want to make a point of that. It is a living, breathing city. So as a level designer, can you give us some insight into those little touches that you guys have made? Because I hear you guys have even been placing rubbish by hand.
Oh yes, we've been placing quite a bit of rubbish, and that's certainly one of the more glorious parts of being a level designer or an environment artist, where you get to litter the streets that you've spent time building.
No lo sé, pero muchísimo, tío.
But it's details such as this that we find really important to make the city feel alive, and also we take great pride in the process.
No sé qué durará lo que es la historia, pero luego habrá secundarias y 3 formas de pasarte el juego con cada historia de origen, digamos, más las diferentes builds que te puedas hacer, con lo cual, yo qué sé, podemos decir 6 maneras de pasarte el juego. No sé.
stop down
Demasiado,
for a minute
es
and
demasiado.
take a look at your surroundings that we have so lovingly created and try to see if there maybe isn't something that you can be a little detective for.
Decisiones que puedas tomar,
Now,
puedes
one
cambiar
other thing that I
también.
think is really cool is also the fact that we
Muchas
have
horas.
actually named every single street in the city. So not only will NPCs be able to communicate their locations or the locations they want you to visit by sort of referring to the street names, but also
No me he
you
fijado.
will be able to talk to
Ahora me
your friends
fijo, a ver.
about it in that way, right? Have you been to Poplar Street in Japantown, for example? And I think this is a small detail, but
Igual tiene el
the
micro
philosophy
lejos.
that we have with these kind of things is that, you know,
De
many
locos.
small
Mira esto.
things
Esto es el
contribute to the sum
distrito
of it,
este
which is hopefully
donde
then
están las
you'll be
empresas y
able
toda la
to
pesca.
explore a city that you feel is truly alive
Financiero, podríamos
and,
decir.
that you haven't been experiencing before.
Well, Miles, thank you so much for giving us your insight. I suppose when the game launches, you could be an official Night City tour guide instead, right?
I might be, yeah. You know,
Sí que
if
está un poco
this game dev
desincronizado,
thing
¿eh?
doesn't
Un
work
poco, un
out
poco.
for me, I might retire and become a tour guide in Night City.
Don't forget that if you are tuning in late or if you just want to watch anything again, we will be uploading everything to our channels soon. Now, from the 6th Street to the Valentinos, it's time to
las bandas.
introduce you to the gangs of Night City.
Hay un montón, creo, ¿eh? Gangs.
You know how things work in Night City?
Ojo. SpaceX, ¿lo habéis visto?
But that's how things stand.
¿No habéis visto el cohete bajando?
You're either somebody or you fizzle out into nothing.
Then C ain't a city that lets you get by without buddies.
Be very careful, my friend. We are all so far from home.
Which gang's the city's biggest and baddest, according to the NCPD?
Scavs hold the body count title. Or Maelstrom, depending
Ahora
on
hablo
the
del
season.
online, un segundo.
One time, a Maelstrom ganger killed a young kid right in front of my eyes.
Ahora comento lo del online.
Chrome-sucking psychos.
And who the fuck are you to say what can and can't be? I'm gonna introduce you to our meat grinder. About time we had some fun! Think Maelstrom never forgets? Never!
Estos están locos.
I hate these Borg fuckers.
Just a gang like any other, right?
I'll take the Valentinos.
Easter eggs
We
habrá
follow God and the Santa Madre.
infinitos, sí.
Honor means
A Blade Runner, a Akira,
we started out together.
In the
a todo, tío.
No, in the fucking Bible book club.
I gotta give style points to the Valentinos. They have a punishment for every occasion.
Gangster life, puto!
Quick shout out to everyone in Haywood and Santo Domingo.
Puto.
Lately, the Valentinos and 6th Street have had a bigger bone to pick.
6th Street. Why'd they want to wipe you?
I can't fucking stand Tinos.
I've dealt with 6th Street before. We do the run, they'll transfer the cred.
Pero estos no son nómadas. Pero viven fuera. Estos son los más americanos, vaya.
Hate those bastards.
¿Habéis visto la bandera? Que es diferente. En el vídeo que se publica después de esto también se explica.
Any idea how many attacks from behind the black wall we neutralized? If the Voodoo Boys breach the black wall, we'll all be fucked.
Se explica lo de la, bueno, se explica lo de la bandera, más o menos.
Just net runners spooking each other. No such gang.
You know, I heard a few things about you. The Voodoo Boys, best runners in town.
You do not steal from the Voodoo Boys. I see you, always.
For them, Pacifica's just Haiti 2.0, their own island, cut off from the rest of the city.
This is our turf, our home. Until last week, the animals crawled in.
Animals are the craziest fucking gang in the city.
Los animals, y son todos súper fuertes, tío.
Breaker skull!
Animals aren't the play here, are they? They're hired muscle, someone else.
Mira esto.
I fucked you over, you fucked the gang over. Somewhere
Mira
at
esto.
the start of the story, somebody fucked the corp. See how this works now?
My husband's new Westbrook.
Ojo,
Very high
los japos,
in the
¿eh?
Tiger Claws. They did what made the best eddies. Sold sex and black market tech.
See a lot of tigers. They run this place.
Know what else they do well? Break the knees of people who ask questions.
Bueno, son más chinos que japoneses, pero llevan katanas, no sé.
Come on, baby. Tiger
Moxes.
Claws killed one girl too many, so people took matters into their own hands.
Folk went ballistic. Girls, Pimps, outcasts, the whole freak show. It's how the Mox got started.
Think you're some kind of gangoon now, huh?
Us Moxes have each other's back. We look out for one another. You looking for some company tonight?
How'd you hook up with the Mox?
I thought Susie and the gang could
Judy,
really change something in
las
this
amigas.
city.
Judy Álvarez.
Moxes and nomads don't seem so different. Both seem to
Sí,
yammer a lot
más
about
chinos que
community
japoneses, la
and
verdad.
solidarity. Tell me about the Badlands. Not much going on out here.
Oh,
Las
contrary.
Badlands.
This is an ecosystem. Nomads, wrapped in shiv, corporations, and drifters, they form a complete whole.
Yo creo que voy a empezar como
Remove
nómada,
one
¿eh?
part, the delicate balance
Creo que voy a empezar como nómada y no lo digo de broma.
Caldos, it all stays in the family. Classic dilemma. What comes first? Family or the outside world?
This family will go to hell and back.
Everyone in this city lives in their own bubble, and either you fly high or sink into quicksand.
Mateusz, thank
Judy,
you
Judy.
so much for
Judy
joining
de
us.
Judith,
I have
de
personally
Judith,
been
de
really
Judy Álvarez.
excited to give people a closer look at the gangs. We've shown a little bit on Twitter, but their styles are
Lo
so
de
distinct.
el infierno y el cielo al mismo tiempo. Lo del online saldrá un año o después un año o dos después del juego, pero no han dicho exactamente cómo será. Dicen que es un proyecto por separado, así que no sé exactamente cómo funcionará. No sé si será algo aparte, free to play, una actualización del juego, no sé cómo irá. Katie, gracias por el follow, amigo, bienvenido, gracias, se agradece. Por eso, tío, no sé, los nómadas, además con el lore que tienen los nómadas, me molan. Los nómadas me molan.
But then, I suppose everybody's thinking then, can you join a gang?
Well, V is a merc, and mercs of Night City are this unique, distinct group that stick mostly to themselves, right? And they get jobs from variety of factions. They can get jobs from corporations, they can get jobs from gangs.
Las historias de cada facción. Probablemente haré un vídeo sobre esto, pero tengo que buscar información.
And the gangs are no exception here.
No sé si hay. No sé si hay información ahora mismo. No te sabría decir. Pero yo voy a buscar información y haré un vídeo. Una de cada o uno de todas. No lo sé.
The Afterlife are this group of mercs, this legendary group of mercenaries in Night City. They get the best jobs, they get the most money, the best clients, and so on. So if you want to become a legend in Night City, you are going to the Afterlife.
So we've obviously
que alguien expulse a este hombre, por favor.
So does that mean there are kind of special gang-themed
Lo dice de broma, Neka.
items and
Es mi hermano
clothing for
y tiene muchas ganas de jugar, pero lo dice de broma.
Yes, definitely. There are different vehicles that you can drive, for example. There are cars, there are
No le he echado porque sé quién es.
Then, of course, there are different pieces of clothing,
no.
themed
Sé que
after
es de broma.
gangs. There are weapons and so on. So, yeah, definitely there are things to look forward to.
I suppose as somebody who's spent as much time as you have kind of getting to know the gangs, I have to ask, which is your favorite and why?
¿Cuál es la...?
So I would have to say probably Maelstrom.
Los primeros, los Maelstrom. Tu banda favorita,
feel, and this weird aesthetic about them. So the idea about Maelstrom is they are people who want to cross the boundary between the machine and human, right?
Dice que son una banda que quieren sobrepasar el límite entre lo que sería la máquina y el humano. Por eso llevan tantas modificaciones y todo esto. Parecen robots, ¿sabes? Podrá llegar al nivel de The Witcher 3. Yo creo que lo va a superar. Es muy difícil. The Witcher 3 es mi videojuego favorito, pero creo que lo puede superar perfectamente.
Oh, Matty, thank you so much for joining us. It's always interesting to learn what your favorite
Es
gang
difícil,
is. I think
ya
it kind
digo,
of tells
pero
me a little bit about you.
Cuidado.
Oh, does it? What does it say about me?
Well,
Los vehículos son muy chulos. Por lo que se ha visto, los vehículos son muy chulos.
But for now, before we wrap up today's episode, we asked people to show us their creativity and design a PC case mod, cyberpunk style. Our panel of judges selected 5 finalists and we teamed them up
Ojo,
with
los mods de PC.
modders to bring their concept to reality.
Esto es de locos. O sea...
These 5 amazing designs will be fighting for the main prize, an Alienware Aurora PC along with other awesome gaming peripherals. Brought to you by our partners, Alienware, Nvidia, and SteelSeries. Let's see the mods.
Ah, de locos.
I absolutely loved this one.
Mira esto, mira esto, mira esto. Esto es un PC, ¿eh?
Absolutely next level. Honestly, kind of terrifying.
Mira esto, papá. De Militech. Qué guapo, tú.
Exactly the type of thing I would expect to find at a trade show.
It really looks like
¿Esto es una
it's gonna come
silla?
straight out of the game.
Es una silla, tú. Mira esto. Ahora os leo, ¿eh? Es que esto me flipa, tío.
To watch the full PC case modding video and
Ya, sacar un 98 en Steam es muy difícil, pero bueno, hay mucho hype por este juego. Si lo iguala, si iguala el 98, ya está.
Those PC case mods, it reminds me that we do have one more thing to reveal. If you're going to be playing Cyberpunk 2077 on PC,
Voy a jugar,
which is
sí.
this November, we do have some specs to share that I think some of you have been waiting for.
Los requisitos
The minimum
mínimos.
system requirements for Cyberpunk are a Windows 7 or 10 PC,
Vale.
Intel Core i5
Vale.
3570K,
¿Un
or
i5
AMD
solo?
FX 8310.
¿Cuánto ocupará?
8 gigs of RAM and an Nvidia GeForce
Vale.
GTX 780 or an AMD
Una GTX 780. ¿Qué han hecho? 70 gigas. ¿Pero qué han hecho con este juego? De locos. ¿Y los recomendados? Y 7, vale.
12 gigs of RAM and an Nvidia GeForce GTX
Vale.
1060 or AMD
Los
Radeon
recomendados,
R9
una 1060.
Thank you so much
¿Qué
for
han
joining
hecho?
us for episode 3 of Night City Wire. Don't
De
forget
locos.
that if you've missed anything or if you just want to watch again, we
No,
will be
no,
uploading
Max, eso no es un bot.
everything to our
Es
channel
CD Projekt.
shortly, and we will be back
Con-
soon with episode 4.
Con drops del Wend. Habrá episodio 4, yo pensaba que solo serían 3. De locos los requisitos recomendados, ¿no? O sea, está súper, súper bien. Qué fuerte. Lo puede jugar hasta Laura con la 1050 Ti. Muy fuerte. Gracias, Odita. De locos, tú. Pues mira, me ha gustado sobre todo. Me ha gustado sobre todo por lo de los requisitos, tú. Muy bien, ¿eh? Muy, muy bien, tú. Muy, muy bien. Lo vamos a ver otra vez porque no tenía pinchada la pantalla. En fin, lo dicho. Que la página web, que es esta, la que han enseñado en el directo, que ponía nightcity.love.es. No, .love, sin el .es. Hay un recuento de bajas, como veis aquí. Pequeña historia de Night City. Richard Knight. ¿Veis que era blanco? Yo ya lo he dicho antes, tío. Publicidad que te va saltando. Y aquí está lo de los métodos de transporte que decía yo. Coche, encart, que es el tren metropolitano, y taxis. Vehículos aéreos. Dijeron que no dirían nada sobre eso. Es en plan... Bueno, hay historias sobre los distritos también aquí, si queréis mirar. Vaya. En fin, galería de captura y todo esto. Vehículos aéreos. No quieren decir nada. Igual eso es que sí. No lo sé. Y la moto, claro. Y la moto también. Bueno, hay más de una moto, entiendo. Pero sí, sería coche, moto, en el encart, que es el tren, y los taxis. Así que veremos a ver si hay vehículos aéreos o solo forman parte del decorado. Ya veremos, ya veremos, ya veremos. por lo visto, por lo que dicen aquí, el tren es la mejor forma de desplazarse rápidamente por la ciudad. Ya veremos, a ver, lo del tráfico aéreo, no lo sé.